Hello there, Earthlings. Good morning. How are you today? This is Josh Poet, and welcome to First Contact Radio. So I hope you had a wonderful Easter for those of you who were celebrating, and I hope that your weekend went well, even if you weren't celebrating Easter. Whatever you were doing, hope you had a great weekend. Got a new week up ahead of us, a lot of information. Dirk's got some news stories for you hot off the press, and let's start things off with the date for today. Today on the Dream Spell calendar, it's a white overtone moon. White overtone moon guided by the dog. So white is the color of transformation, the color of refinement. The overtone, tone number 5, is called the overtone of radiance, and the dog, which is the symbol for today is the wind, which is about inspiration, and the dog is the guide for today, which is about love. Altogether, the phrase for today is I empower in order to communicate, commanding breath. I seal the input of spirit with the overtone tone of radiance. I am guided by the power of heart. And on the Gregorian calendar, it is Monday, April 25th, 2011. So that catches you up to date with what's going on, what our date is today. And now for news, Dirk Bradshaw's here with a story about, calls it the birther. It's kind of a weird term, isn't it? Birthers. Just people who want to know that President Obama is from this country. So they get a name called the birthers. Okay, whatever. It's funny how Washington does this, and the media puts these spin out there and puts these words. Remember, the media, the mainstream media, it's all a CIA psyop. They're trying to fool you. Don't let yourself be fooled. Here we go.
Cosmic News with Dirk Bradshaw.
Hey there. Oh, I forget your name.
Oh, it is Brian.
Right. Well, Brandon, I just wanted to thank you for that date last night.
We never went on a date last night.
Not with you, you silly rabbit. With Ted, that hunky guy in sales. Thanks to you and freeinla.com. And it was so easy, all you do is click on a date and poof.
And all the free stuff just comes flooding out. Over 3,000 things to do free in Los Angeles. Free in LA. Is really unbelievable.
No, what was really unbelievable was my date with Ted. Though he hasn't called me back for a second date.
It's probably because you told him about freeinla.com. And now he doesn't need you anymore.
Wow. Good point, Bob.
It's Brian.
Flying high above the planet Earth, this is the Cosmic News with Dirk Bradshaw. Hey there, boys and girls, children of all ages. It is time for what I consider to be the greatest show on Earth. That would be the Cosmic News with Dirk Bradshaw. I am Dirk Bradshaw, and tonight we take a look at Obama's secret. This is a groundbreaking expose. The truth about Barack Hussein Obama's birth, religion, and his plans for America. We traveled from Hawaii to Kenya to Indonesia to learn the truth about this man, Barack Obama. We visited the Hawaiian hospital where Obama claims to have been born and uncovered the conspiracy to falsify documents. We traveled to Kenya and found Obama's real Kenyan birth certificate. We went to Indonesia to prove Obama's true allegiance to Islam. Tonight, we will open your eyes on Obama's secret and the truth behind our leaders.
Barack Hussein Obama,
I,
do solemnly swear
I, Barack Hussein Obama, do solemnly swear
that I will execute the office of President to the United States faithfully,
that I will execute
faithfully the office of President of the United
office of
States,
President of the United States faithfully,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect,
and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
So help you God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President. All the best wishes.
In 2004, Barack Hussein Obama came to national attention. In 4 short years, he rose from obscurity to President of the United States. But how much do we know about this man who is leading our country into tyranny? Where did he come from? What God does he follow? And what are his true motives? We have traveled to 3 countries in our search for the truth, from Hawaii to Kenya to Indonesia, to find Obama's secret. Barack Obama claims he was born at the Kapiolani Medical Center in Honolulu, Hawaii. There have, however, long been questions about whether this is actually true. We traveled to Hawaii to check out the claims and question doctors at the hospital.
According to our records, Barack Obama was born at this hospital.
Did you actually witness him being born here?
No, I didn't.
Why not?
Well, first of all, I was only 13 years of age when he was born, and even though I was a bright student, I still didn't have my license to practice medicine.
So you can't actually be sure that he was born here, can you?
I have a copy of his birth certificate right here. Our hospital is very careful on its records, and according to our records, this is a true and correct copy of his birth certificate.
But that's not the original, is it?
No, it's not.
So it's possible that it is actually fake, isn't it?
It's possible, but not likely.
But if it was a fake, wouldn't it also look real?
Well, I suppose it would.
So isn't it possible that it is actually fake because it does look real?
I think you're twisting things around, but that's possible.
So there you have it. A doctor from the hospital where Obama claims to have been born admits that the birth certificate could be a forgery. We decided to go to the source and talk to the Hawaii State Department of Health to prove that Obama's birth certificate is fake.
Is this birth certificate released by the Barack Obama campaign real or a forgery?
No, it's real.
How do you know?
It's the same one that's in our records.
But is this his birth certificate?
It has his name on it.
But how do you know he is who he says he is?
What?
I mean, what if there were another baby born in this hospital on that day, also named Barack Obama?
You're saying there's 2 different Barack Obamas?
I'm just asking questions. Isn't it possible?
I don't know, but
Is there any sort of photo identification? Is there any sort of photographic proof, any sort of evidence?
No, we don't have photos with birth certificates.
So the director of the Hawaii State Department of Health admits that there is no proof that the birth certificate Obama presented is his own. Where, then, was Barack Obama born? It has long been assumed that Adolf Hitler committed suicide with his wife, Eva Braun, on April 30th, 1945, in a bunker under the Reich Chancellery in Berlin. Newly uncovered evidence, however, suggests that he escaped Germany just prior to VE Day. If that's true, where did he go, and what ultimately happened to him?
Wie wohl jedermann weiß, ist Adolf Hitler zusammen mit seiner Frau Eva Braun 1945 im Reichsbunker gestorben. Es ist daher vollkommen unsinnig und aus der Luft gegriffen zu behaupten, er wäre nach Afrika entkommen. Auch ist es geradezu blödsinnig zu behaupten, dass er der Vater von Barack Obama wäre.
One theory is that Hitler immigrated to Kenya, where he hoped he would blend in with the local population. Some believe that in 1961, at the age of 72, he fathered a child. Who was that child, and what ultimately happened to him? We traveled to Kenya to find out.
I'd like to book a flight to Africa.
Of course. What country?
Africa.
I understand, sir. What country in Africa?
Kenya?
No problem.
We went to Nyang'oma, Kojolo, Kenya, Obama's hometown in Africa, to find real evidence of his birth. Our first stop was to see the chief.
Where would I go to find Obama?
It could be a 50-meter, but going down. If you want to find Obama, you don't need to go around. If you go east, west, round, wherever, you find Obama. If not 50, could be about 100 going down the street to Moliku. That's where we call the neighborhood.
Damn it. I was told that you knew Barack Obama?
You mean my son?
How old is your son?
2 years.
What?
I gave him the name after the President of the United States of America.
There are rumors that Obama was actually born at Kendu Bay Hospital.
Now, was Barack Obama born here?
Born here, I don't think. If Obama was born here, everybody would have known. But to the best of my knowledge, I don't think Obama was born in this country.
Was he born at this hospital?
Definitely not. If Obama was born in this hospital, I would have been the greatest person to say, yes, a U.S. president was born in my own hospital. But Obama was not born in this hospital.
If Obama wasn't born at this hospital, where was he born? We went to the Ministry of Records to find out. With everyone hiding Obama's birth from us, our final hope was to go directly to the district administrator.
Have you seen Obama's birth certificate?
What? I've never seen his birth certificate. I've always seen the President Barack Obama on TV, you know, in magazines. Birth certificate, no. No. But I'm convinced he was born in, well, from what the media say, I know he was born in Hawaii. I've never seen his birth certificate before, never.
But wasn't Barack Obama born in Kenya?
No. Did I say Kenya? No, he was born in Hawaii. He wasn't born in Kenya, of course. The father was born in Kenya, but Obama was born in Hawaii.
After searching through their archives, we finally found the smoking gun. We found Barack Hussein Obama's real birth certificate. In this side-by-side comparison, we can see the difference between them. The one on the right has the Obama logo and a picture of Obama, which shows without a doubt that this birth certificate belongs to the President of the United States. It is widely known that at the age of 6, Barack Obama moved to the largely Islamic nation of Indonesia. The question has always been whether he secretly converted to Islam while there. During our journey, we uncovered evidence that he did, in fact, study Islam and, in fact, received a 4th-degree black belt in Islam. We have evidence of Obama's Islamic skills.
Nice.
Now, where were we? That was pretty impressive, wasn't it? I got the sucker. What do you think, Gibbs?
The fly didn't stand a chance against Obama's nimble hands and Islamic skills. As further proof of Obama's true religion, we need look no further than his name. His full name is Barack Hussein Obama. The former dictator of Iraq was named Saddam Hussein. If we look closely at these names, we can see that Obama's middle name is the same as Saddam Hussein's last name. If two people have the same name, it is obvious that they share the same religion. Since Saddam Hussein was Muslim, and he shares a name with Obama, he too must be Muslim. To illustrate this point, if Pope John Paul was Catholic, so was John Wayne, Supreme Court Justice John Roberts, President John F. Kennedy, and Senator John Kerry. Names dictate our religion. How did this Islamic name and early exposure to Islam influence Barack Obama? What impact has his true allegiance to this religion had on him? And what impact is this having on our children? The Obamas are on a mission to indoctrinate our children and create a youth army. They will not rest until all children have converted and follow in the footsteps of Islam.
I think that it is the sign of the times when a prestigious author of books, like me, R.A. Grimes, has to create his own promos. You know, there was a time when the guy who wrote books was treated like a rock star. And now rock stars are treated like rock stars. I ask you people, where's the justice? I had asked my mother-in-law for a loan so I could do these promos. Me, R.A. Grimes, the guy who wrote the novelization of Showgirls, reduced to this. Oh well. I wrote a book. It is, of course, brilliant. And those are not just my words, but the words of a guy named, I don't know, Stephen King. Now, for legal purposes, I do need to note that this was literally a guy I know, named Stephen King. I met him in line at the DMV. But he thought it was great. And so will you. It is called The New Country. And it has all the things you want in a novel. That is, you can easily picture in your mind actors in the parts, and I do not use a whole lot of big words. So go out and get it on Amazon.
Oh, man, I can't believe it's over. Where does the time go? Well, I see the fat lady's off the stage. She's looking right at me. It's time for me to go put her to bed. I hate goodbyes. So instead I'm going to say, until we meet again, I'm Dirk Bradshaw for the Cosmic News. Wake up.
What if our government was responsible for some of the greatest crimes against this nation? Would you really want to know? These are big questions, but these questions deserve answers. It's time to demand the truth.
People should not be afraid of their governments. Government should be afraid of people.
9/11 was an inside job. Kennedy was killed by the CIA. Jimmy Carter saw a UFO. Answers to secrets you need to know. So wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. The evidence is overwhelming. Step past your fear, take a look. Illuminati lies keep growing, but they're illusion from your eyes. And wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. What would our founding fathers say if they were alive today? Must be turning in their graves. Redcoats are coming, Big Brother's watching. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. One if by land and two if by sea, and I on the opposite shore will be ready to ride and spread the alarm through every Middlesex village and farm. Whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it. When a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Patriots arise. It's time to demand the truth. What if our
of Buryatia. Okay. Alright, just turn my microphone on. Sorry, folks. UFO news right here for today. Michael Cohen. This is relating to the Siberian UFO sighting, the one we showed last week. It says a few days ago, this publication reported on an alleged lifeless alien body found by villagers in the Siberian Republic of Buryatia. I posted a video of the alien on YouTube, which has now been widely reported on the major media outlets. The mainstream media picked up the story and ran a spate of positive, compelling articles on the event. It was only a matter of time until the story was debunked. It seems that debunking of the events always followed the exact same trajectory. A series of positive articles, then the letdown of the follow-up articles trumpeting that without a doubt the event was fake. The stage always involves making the witnesses look like clowns and frauds. Then a so-called scientific journalist generally deals the final blow in keeping with the government corporate agenda of keeping us much like mushrooms in the dark and eating garbage. Interestingly, in this case, there is a major hole in the cover-up. My article on this matter merely postulated that the alien in Buryatia, on the shores of the mysterious lake Bakai, probably home to an underwater UFO base, might have had to do with the UFO crash near Irkutsk, 100 miles away. I reported a month ago. The media skim reading of the article on the bottom of the video mixed the two and completely fused the story, claiming that the alien was seen just as their villagers saw glowing pink and blue lights and heard a UFO crash. Now, mysteriously, the hoaxers have been supposedly made of chicken. Shown in the debunking articles doesn't quite look like the being in the film. Perhaps the obvious leg with the chicken texture was simply added digitally. Some have also noted that Timur's pictures look it might have been digitally created too. Of more interest is the question as to why the Russian ministry government got involved and felt the need to issue a statement on the viral video. Funnily, I did a report on the same ministry coming down to the site of the crash a month ago. A few months back, when this publication broke the story in the Jerusalem UFO, the debunking followed the exact same course and involved the same shadowy figures. The discrediting of the FBI memo, also made public by the site, was much the same. It didn't stop all the Jerusalem UFO videos and having gone viral, vanishing from our YouTube account along with many others, including the series of pyramid UFOs, Japanese pre- and post-tsunami UFOs, and many others of our news site first publication in the West. Jerusalem UFO, Siberian alien, FBI memo. Real or fake? You decide. All News Web is committed to opposing censorship. Our existence is on the net, is a minute-by-minute preposition, hence the old template. Read it before it gets covered up too. If you enjoy the story, please join the Facebook page. And here we've got, copies of all of these. You got the dead alien, you got the Jerusalem video, and then of course President Truman talking about UFOs. So allnewsweb.com. Check it out, check it out, check it out. A lot of great stuff up there for you to read. This story here comes from sodahead.com. Sodahead.com. It says, UFO hearings, seriously necessary or seriously stupid? Will this Congress boldly go where no Congress has really gone before? Probably not. But should it be paying more attention to what's in space? Well, according to at least one professor, the answer is yes. University of Missouri Columbia psychologist and adjunct professor of peace studies Bill Wickersham is demanding, with backing of a report written 12 years ago, that Congress hold hearings on UFOs, according to AOL News. When I found the Cometa report, I had a lot of friends in veteran organizations. I'm in Veterans for Peace, Wickersham told AOL News. All these people hold military folks in very high regard, but most of them won't pay any attention to UFOs. So I thought it would be a good idea to use the military angle to call for hearings. In 1999, a committee in France made up of retired general scientists and space experts created the report, which studied hundreds of worldwide UFO sightings. The report decided that some UFO cases possibly had an otherworldly source. This wouldn't be the first time Congress held hearings. In the 60s, then Congressman Gerald Ford asked for hearings after a rash of sightings in his native Michigan. The hearings were held, and a report was quickly issued denying extraterrestrial sightings. It's probably a long shot for Congress to take up UFO hearings, Wickersham said. Look what happened to 2008 Ohio Democrat President candidate Dennis Kucinich. The giggle factor, the ridicule, the ignorance, the apathy, the denial, and all these things that surround the issue. It takes a lot of guts for a politician. Most politicians run from it. But then again, in all fairness, Dennis Kucinich went out there and after saying he would not support the health care bill, suddenly changed his mind. So his credibility should be questioned about other issues, not about UFO stuff. Here we have an article from PR.com. It's a press release talking about this year's Roswell Festival. I will be out there. We're going to be performing our UFO rock opera. So if you happen to be out there, you'll be able to see it, enjoy it, and just have a great time at the festival. Anyway, Roswell, New Mexico, April 24th, 2011. Roswell's annual UFO festival, held over the July 4th weekend, attracts thousands of flying saucer enthusiasts each year to the remote desert town in southeastern New Mexico. This year, attendees will once again have a chance to go to a special walking tour of the former Roswell airfield, where the 1947 Army allegedly hit a crashed UFO in the bodies of several extraterrestrials. The ultimate Roswell UFO tour is conducted by Roswell area resident E.J. Wilson of RoswellTours.com, a licensed tour business that has been featured in Albuquerque's KRQE TV, the Oakland Tribune, the Jeff Friends program, the Jerry Pippin Show, and numerous other media outlets. This year's tours will be offered Friday, July 1st through Monday, July 4th, 3 times a day at 9 a.m., 2 p.m., and 6:30 p.m. The tour groups will meet 30 minutes prior to the tour at the multipurpose room of the Campus Union Building at Eastern New Mexico University, 48 University Boulevard. Due to the group size limits, advanced registrations are strongly recommended and may be made by calling 575-416-0146 or by visiting RoswellTours.com. The cost is $25 per person. Lasting approximately 2 hours and requiring a walk of slightly more than 2 miles, the Ultimate Roswell UFO Tour visits 9 different sites on the Army base where significant parts of the Roswell story unfolded, including the mysterious aircraft hangar known as Building 84, where according to eyewitnesses the Army stored the remains of the UFO that crashed north of the town and the weird alien bodies found at the crash site. Our tour participants especially love Building 84, Wilson said. There's a strong sense of the eerie at this location. You feel a strange energy, a direct link to 1947 as you walk around the building. You allow yourself to experience what the base personnel experienced in 1947. Wilson allows his tour groups to tarry at the site, soaking up the strange feelings there and taking plenty of pictures in front of the wooden sign that still reads, Building 84. The tour also discloses the strange tale of the alien autopsy that was conducted at the base hospital and visits the former base officers club, where an Army nurse who took part in the autopsy drew sketches of the insect-like bodies she saw on the autopsy tables. Also visited is the former location of the base chapel, where soldiers whose lives were deeply touched by their strange experience sought spiritual comfort. Another significant site is the former Flight Operations Building, where eyewitness Robert Shirky said he saw UFO debris, some of it containing strange alien hieroglyphics, being loaded onto a B-29 bomber by men in dark suits. Also visited is the storied base, water tower, where Lieutenant Governor of New Mexico met with friends and told them that they had seen a plane without wings and 4 little men, one of which was moaning loudly. We immerse our tour participants in a careful, detailed narration of the entire Roswell UFO case while visiting these incredibly historic sites, Wilson said. Nobody has ever offered this, which I think explains why we are being inundated by requests for the tours. The data for the narration is drawn primarily from the book Ultimate Guide to the Roswell UFO Crash, written by Wilson and author-researcher No Torres. But the narration also includes plenty of additional stories and anecdotes created just for the tour. Wilson also uses audio clips from the actual eyewitnesses to set the stage for the tours. Tour participants have given Wilson high marks for their level of detail in the tour narration, which he says comes from years of personal study into the case and also from his years of working as a tour guide at the UFO Museum. Noah and I developed the original script for the tour, and we've continued to modify it based on our actual touring experience, Wilson said. We want our participants to get the full story without bogging down the details that are not of critical importance. The most important part, Wilson said, is the impact of the standing right next to the actual landmarks themselves. It is one thing to talk about what happened here, he said. It's pretty much another to reach out and touch it. His slogan for the tour is, "Walk where they walked," and that pretty much says it all. In addition to the tours that will be offered during the UFO Festival, E.J. Wilson is also available to conduct tours on demand before and after the festival for groups or for or more individuals. For more information, call E.J. at 575-416-0146 or visit roswelltours.com. And one more story here. This is just a brief. J.F. Kennedy sought UFO files 10 days before his death. And it says here, veteran sign language interpreter has high praise for one public speaker with an eye in the White House, Donald Trump. He's very easy to interpret because he's very straightforward, says Amy Hare after standing by Trump's side and translating his remarks for the deaf and hearing impaired at a Tea Party rally in Boca Raton, Florida on April 16th. Trump is good because he's understandable. Most politicians speak very vaguely, and he speaks matter-of-factly. He speaks in very simple terms. Let's see, where's the UFO part here? Okay. There we go. A newly released letter shows 10 days before his assassination, President John F. Kennedy wrote to the head of the CIA demanding to be shown highly confidential documents about UFOs. Author William Lester, who is researching a new book about Kennedy, said the CIA released a letter to him under the Freedom of Information Act. Kennedy's letter, dated November 12, 1963, has a subject line, Classification Review of all UFO intelligence files affecting national security, and he asked for access to those files. A second Kennedy letter, released to Lester, written on the same date, was sent to the administration of NASA and expressed a desire for cooperation with the Soviet Union on mutual outer space activities, according to Britain's Daily Mail. Lester told AOL News one of his concerns was a lot of these UFOs were being seen over the Soviet Union. He was concerned that the Soviets might misinterpret these UFOs as U.S. aggression, believing it was some of our technology. I think this is one of the reasons why he wanted to get his hands on this information, to get it away from the jurisdiction of NASA so he could say to the Soviets, look, that's not us. We're not doing it. The Daily Mail pushes the envelope on its coverage of the story, headlining, "It was JFK killed because of his interest in aliens?" But AOL News acknowledges that the president's interest in UFOs shortly before his death is likely to fuel conspiracy theorists about his assassination. The story already sparked renewed interest in the so-called burn memo that a UFO investigator claimed he received from an identified CIA leaker in the 90s. According to the investigator, the leaker said he worked for the CIA between 60 and 74, pulled the document marked top secret from a fire where the agency was burning some sensitive files, according to the Daily Mail. The memo from the CIA director refers to a group of military officials and scientists allegedly appointed by President Harry Truman to investigate the possible presence of alien on Earth. It also refers to Lancer, which was Kennedy's Secret Service code name, and states, "As you must know, Lancer has made some inquiries regarding our activities, which we cannot allow." And that is our UFO news for today. Some of it you've heard before, but we keep refreshing your memory because it's important to refresh your memory so you can remember. Okay, a lot of remembering going on here. I'm remembering right now to play a song. I'll be back and we'll continue on with other business. The name of this song is called We Never Went to the Moon.
If all of this is true, and the evidence strongly suggests that it is, then our government, for some reason, has taken the stance that the general public must not be told the truth.
Very good, ready? Did we really go to the moon? Did we really land on the moon? And why weren't there any stars? Did we really go to the moon? Did we really land on the moon? And why weren't there any stars? Why weren't there any stars? July 20, 1969, 3 astronauts embark on a historic mission to the moon. On Earth, millions of people gather together and watch it live on TV. Did we really go to the moon? Did we really land on the moon? And why weren't there any stars? Some say the whole thing was a fake, that we didn't have the technology yet to accomplish this feat. And in haste to win the Cold War, created one of the greatest hoaxes of all time. Did we really go to the moon? Did we really land on the moon? And why weren't there any stars? Despite the fact that there is no atmosphere on the moon, we all watched the American flag flapping strongly in the wind. And we saw astronauts walking upon a surface that they described as much like the high desert of the United States. Did we really go to the moon? Did we really land on the moon? And why weren't there any stars? Too many questions and not enough answers. Did the Eagle really land? $40 billion to tell a story. Are there really footprints in the moon's sand? What do you think? Did we really go to the moon? Did we really land on the moon? And why weren't there any stars? Why weren't there any stars? In the sky, there should be some stars. There weren't any stars. Why weren't there any stars? Did we really go to the moon? Did we really land on the moon? Why weren't there any stars? Why weren't there any stars? Why weren't there any stars? Did we really go to the moon? welcome back to First Contact Radio. How you doing? How you doing? So, where are we at here? Well, I got some interesting information for you. You know, that song was called We Never Went to the Moon, and the guitar player, Sting Mask, well, you could hear he's pretty good guitar player there. It's about the moon landing and alleges the possibility that it was a fake moon landing, asks lots of questions about that. You know, I did meet Buzz Aldrin. He and I had a picture. You can find it up online somewhere. He didn't know at the time that I had made the video, but word did get back to me later that he now does know, and doesn't really think too much of it. But Buzz, if you're listening out there, nothing personal. I don't believe it was you that were behind the whole fake of everything. I believe there was a bigger agency, and you were just a pawn of that agency who has probably been threatened that if you speak about what went on, something's going to happen to you or your family. So I understand. Don't think it's personal to you. Okay there, Buzz? Thanks. Now, I'm going to start things off here with a bit of Ron Paul. This is the Ron Paul, part of the Ron Paul Revolution. And this is his weekly announcement called Texas Straight Talk. Here we go.
Last week, the financial markets were roiled by Standard & Poor's announcement that they will change their outlook on the fiscal health of the United States over the next 2 years from stable to negative. The administration decried this decision as political. However, it seems the only political thing about this decision is the fact that it took so long. The Washington Post recently reported that the White House and the Treasury Department put tremendous pressure on Standard & Poor's not to do this. However, if S&P made its ratings based on political pressure rather than economic reality, it would cease to have any relevance to the business community. Even if S&P delayed its announcement that the U.S. government bond market would be downgraded, at some point it would become obvious that the finances of this country are out of control and our leadership is out of touch. All credibility would be lost if S&P simply continued to assign U.S. debt at a AAA rating. S&P noted in its announcement that the negotiations among leaders in Washington to address deficit concerns did not sound promising, and expressed skepticism that politicians could agree to any viable budget compromise. Of course, this has been obvious for years, but in the midst of the current debate over the raising the debt limit, it is perhaps the wake-up call that Washington needs. For decades, politicians and government officials have been able to maintain their denial about our real financial situation, patching the system together by passing emergency and supplemental funding bills, issuing more debt and allowing the Federal Reserve and foreign creditors to paper over deficits with more monetary expansion. I've said many times the real day of reckoning comes when fiscal and monetary tricks no longer work and there are no buyers for our debt. Even the most conservative budget that has been proposed by Republican leadership requires raising the debt ceiling by an additional $9 trillion by 2021. This demonstrates absolutely that no one in power right now has any real intention of addressing our spending problems or paying down the debt. They simply expect to continue to borrow and run up more debt forever without limit. Yet they always imagine our dollar will have value no matter how many we print. This expectation is foolish and naive. I guarantee that those buying our debt are not foolish and naive enough to go along with this charade forever. The S&P announcement may just be the harbinger of economic reality, acting as a restraint on government expansion. Government is not anxious to cap its own growth in spite of misnomers like debt limit or deficit reduction. Government will continue to grow like a cancer, sapping our country of its wealth and freedom until the laws of economics no longer can be ignored. Thanks for calling this update. A new update is placed on this number, 888-322-1414, every Monday. The written text can be found on my website, www.house.gov/Paul, under the heading Texas Straight Talk. Thanks for calling.
All right. Thank you very much for those sensible words from Ron Paul. And we're going to continue on because this deals with a possible announcement.
According to an online posting by Congressman Ron Paul's longtime advisor and friend Lou Rockwell at Lou Rockwell's Political Theater, Ron Paul is running for president. The speculation was put to rest after a quote from campaign manager Jesse Benton was printed in the Spartanburg Herald-Journal stating that Ron Paul plans to meet all the criteria and participate. Benton is, of course, referring to the May 5th South Carolina presidential debate to be hosted by the South Carolina Republican Party and Fox News. Latest reports indicate that House Speaker Newt Gingrich, former Minnesota Governor Tim Pawlenty, former Louisiana Governor Buddy Roemer, and former U.S. Senator Rick Santorum would be participating in the debate alongside Congressman Paul. When asked about what a Ron Paul 2012 presidential campaign would look like, Jesse Benton stated,
I think it has the potential to be bigger and greater than what we did last time. I think that Ron is knocking on the door of being an actual top-tier candidate and get the respect. And with the respect that he would get, our ideas would get the respect that they deserve. The ideas of limited government, sound money, there's really starting to resonate, and I think there is strong potential that another run by Ron could make those ideas thrust right into the mainstream.
The mainstream ideas Paul pushes, such as limited government, sound monetary principles, and a sensible foreign policy, will take center stage in the first debate in the 2012 presidential cycle. Also taking center stage in this 2012 election season is the social network RTR.org. RTR, or commonly known as Restore the Republic, was established by my mentor, Hollywood filmmaker and writer-producer of America Freedom to Fascism, Aaron Russo. Russo was one of the first political icons to come out in full support of Congressman Ron Paul during the 2008 presidential cycle. Over 145 Ron Paul-related groups call RTR.org home already, abandoning New York-based Meetup.com and Facebook.com that is commonly trolled by political operatives looking to get an edge. Groups at RTR.org have free web-based tools at their disposal, such as mass mail, event organizing, group discussion boards, document storage, and polling features in a community built for patriots by patriots. For RonPaul2012.tv, I'm Gary Franchi.
All right, very good. Very, very good. So RTR.org, go check it out. Check it out, check it out. I'll have some links, I believe, already due up on the website. All right. Interesting story here. Let's see. If we're not going to be able to play this right now, but if you get a chance, go over to rents.com, RENSC.com. They have a video up there, Jeff Rense and Dr. Blaylock talking about radiation and what we can do. Why is this important? Because the mainstream media is not telling you that the radiation levels have gotten worse. There's been continued amount of radiation pouring into the air since March 11th, and it's continuing to get worse. And it continues to grow and accumulate, and it's making its way, and it has made its way here to the United States. It's important to know what to do. So get over to there, check that out. Now we have Janet Napolitano. You know, someone who like this shouldn't be in a position of power. She's not good. This is not good. Look, she's now saying that the touching of the 6-year-old girl was professional. Despite the fact that they said they weren't going to be messing with young kids, here this woman, this power-hungry woman, is just supporting her own rate of tyranny, I guess that's what you would call it. This woman here should not be in power. This woman here is supporting all of the pedophilia going on within her organization. This woman must be a sexual pervert. She must be stopped. She should be put in prison. She shouldn't be running the Department of Homeland Security. If you see this woman, report this woman as being a criminal, a terrorist, and a pedophile. She's no longer needed in our country, and she can gladly go straight to jail, and we'll all be happier for that. In other news, it appears that the Virgin Mary made an appearance over the skies of Africa. However, is this the real deal, or is this Project Bluebeam actually being stretched and tested out on the people of the world? Well, let's listen to what the Truther girls have to say about this one.
She looks like this. She always has a blue cloak or whatever over her. We all know what the Virgin Mary looks like, right? So they're standing there and they're all freaking out because they see a vague figure of a woman who, of course, has this blue, not a cloak, but like veil over her or whatever you call it. Gotta be the Virgin Mary. You know what? All I could think was, these people must obviously not have the internet because they obviously have never heard of Project Bluebeam. I mean, if I saw the Virgin Mary in the clouds or in the sunlight, that's the first thing that I would think of. Project Bluebeam. If you want like a little primer, you can even find it on Rational Wiki. Project Bluebeam, as they describe it here, is a conspiracy theory that claims that NASA is attempting to implement a New Age religion with the Antichrist at its head and start a new world order, total conspiracy theory, by a technologically simulated second coming. Well, they couldn't possibly be doing that. I mean, that's just nutty. This came from, originally, was a journalist from Quebec, whose name was Serge Monast, who published a book called Project Bluebeam, NASA. Basically, it said that it was going to be a plan in several steps. Step 1, breakdown of all archaeological knowledge, as in where man comes from. But, you know, there are a lot of problems with the accepted knowledge that we have from archaeology that doesn't add up. So who knows, maybe a breakdown is needed. Maybe we need to talk about, you know, the true origins of man and the fact that we've been around here for a long time, a lot longer than the official position would have us believe. Step 2 involves a gigantic space show wherein three-dimensional laser projections are beamed all over the planet. So they're going to have, you know, Jesus or Muhammad or Buddha or whoever you believe in is going to be up in the clouds. And then people are going to think God is coming? I don't know. At the end of the light show, the gods will all merge into one god, the Antichrist. Who else? And then step 3 involves making people think their God is speaking to them through telepathy, projected into the head of each person individually using extremely low frequency radio waves. Step 4, making humanity think an alien invasion is about to occur at every major city. Yeah, that would be a good part of the psyop, wouldn't it? Making the Christians think the rapture is about to happen. A mixture of electronic and supernatural forces, allowing the supernatural forces to travel through fiber optics, coax, power, and telephone lines to penetrate all electronic equipment and appliances that will by then all have special microchip installed. You know, I do believe that this is real. Project Bluebeam. I mean, the New World Order has a track record for nothing but deception upon deception. I mean, it's the point where the only thing you can be sure of is that you're being lied to and deceived. So, especially with religion and things like that, they would do something like that, wouldn't they? Project, you know, the Virgin Mary up in the sky. And it would make sense that they would test it out in a place like some little town in Africa where people aren't probably too tech savvy and have probably never heard of this kind of stuff, and they would actually believe it. I like to refer also to the Illuminati card game by Stephen Jackson, because, you know, he was right about the World Trade Center and the Pentagon and Hurricane Katrina and a lot of things. So what does he have to say about this? Well, he does have a card, and it's called Messiah. And it says, play this card at any time except during an attack. Link it to any personality you control. That person is hailed as the Messiah by millions worldwide. The new Messiah's power and resistance are both increased by 4 + 2 more for every church you control at any given time. Sounds about right to me. fake messiahs, people following after false messiahs, false prophets, the church being controlled, Project Bluebeam, Virgin Mary showing up in the clouds looking the way we all expect her to look. That's the kind of thing you would expect from the New World Order. I do think there's something to it. I don't think it, I mean, it could be some kind of just natural phenomenon, but I don't know, it really seemed to have the shape of a woman, and I would bet you that they're probably testing out this technology. So I just want to let you know that I don't think it's the Virgin Mary. I think it's the New World Order, Project Bluebeam, and I hope that nobody else, well, probably none of you think it's the Virgin Mary, but I hope people don't fall for this kind of nonsense. Well, thanks for listening to me, and I'll see you next time.
All right. Thank you very much to the Truther Girls. AmericanFreedomRadio.com, TrutherGirls.com. Check it out, check it out, check it out. All right, those are our stories for today. We're just about the end of the show here. Let's take a moment, just kind of gather ourselves together. All right, take this moment, my friends. Let's just close your eyes. It's the beginning of a new week. It's the beginning of a new opportunity to go forth into the world and bring positivity out into what's happening in your life. So I just want you to imagine, take a moment, just imagine that you are walking along a path, and just want you to imagine how everything along this path works in your favor, that as you're walking along the path, whatever obstacles are in your way, you're able to step around them. Whatever challenges come your way, you're able to move through them. See yourself moving smoothly and easily along this path, and imagine yourself at the end of the week, having walked the entire path. And think of all the things you will have accomplished along the way. Take a moment now along your journey to go out and send light and love to everyone else around the planet at this moment. Share that love and energy with everybody. And then send that energy down into the earth. Bless the earth. Think good vibes for the earth. And now let's bring our focus back to where we are. Let's bring your energy back on the count of 5, coming back, feeling very confident. 4, filled with faith. 3, come on back, filled with an understanding of who you are and what it is you need to do. 2, coming back aware of all that you have accomplished. And 1, coming back happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, and whole. Shake your arms and legs out, prepared for a new day and a new week. A new day and a new week. Tomorrow on the show, I'm going to start talking about the dream spell. I said I was going to do that last week, that I was going to do it this week, and that's exactly what I'm going to get into tomorrow, so I can clue you in a little bit more of what's going on there. Pay attention in the world, my friends. There's all kind of trickery going on. You know, you've got a minister who's saying rapture is coming up. You've got a FEMA exercise taking place in the middle of America. You've got a comet called Elenin, which is out there in somewhere close to the planet. And then you've got these type of sightings like this, potentially Project Bluebeam. And then you've got the talks about HARP and all this other nonsense going on in the world. The New World Order agenda is quite crazy. Doesn't seem to make sense, except for those on the other side who are just trying to get control of things. So pay attention. Remember, there's more of us than there are of them. All we have to do is stand up, and they can't stop us. All we have to do is stand up, and they can't stop us. For Dirk Bradshaw, my name's Josh Poet. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace. Have a great day. See ya.